Today we sent the Law Society a message. We don't even know if they're getting it. Because at one particular time in 2013, when I went down to where the Brenchers were, they were all gone. And at that particular time, we had foreign in our law society, our own law society. It's because that's the year we lost legal. It's one of the ugliest stories ever. You will never see it this detailed again. So we're trying to do an enforcement for the zone. It's a safety thing. In the hopes that if there are stranded Canadians out everywhere, we can bring them back into the zone. So after I did the witnessing thing, because if they're not legal, there's no point in trying to manage a country. Like, you're trying to manage a country and you're not being legal. So, we messaged the 4.5%. So I'm billing people for future. I am billing people for the money they made off me. It's the legal right. You don't sit there sucking someone's blood like that, being irresponsible. And then there's my driver's license, which I look like a convict. It doesn't help the story, but it's when I was really super ill and they've changed my face so many times. And here is, these are the things I want. You see that word, I want the vault empty, because we are actually working, When we think of UNESCO and heritage and Blue Mountain Mist, we need that vault. Each box is a doctorate. So, I let them know, if you can't manage one single female who houses a monster, then you're posing like idiots. Like, you're just posing. Like, you don't even know what you're doing. You don't know what you're stealing. You're banking on, putting your name on my work, but it's heritage. It's millions and millions of dollars, and that's why we need that vault, because each unit is custom. And it's really hard because India ran to China. India ran to Russia. Russia's historically Turkic people, and beefed them up. That's the year they sent the transgenders to them. And, like, with a shitload of money. But it was my money. Russia doesn't know that. Then they merged, like, it's almost like they're house decorating. They merged the blacks with the Chinese. But they didn't do that to be offensive. Or maybe they did, because they're warped like that. But in Canada, we're a Chinese-based area. And I wanted the blacks because the blacks are in timeline of Turkology with me. So you get it, right? Like, my brother's Turkology is settlement, India. My Turkology is with the blacks. But I wanted the Chinese in the vicinity because that is part of our First Nations culture. Not Chinese from mainland, but like, we wanted Yakut and stuff like that. If you want to do this story professionally, well, that area got so offended with the blacks, and Russia wants to punk off India, and the Germans released Bollywood into Canada, and these are like skinny, size 0, tall Indian chicks that are just dancing in rap videos. I swear to you. And they rushed Canada, screaming, white woman, and first, Indian was here, even though they're 16 hours by flight away from Alaska. And, when they pranced around a Sri Lankan female in a particular period, it looked so dumb because it didn't match our First Nations. They're smarter to stay in the States and do Amerindian stuff, but they want to be included, which is fine. But if you want to be included, you're doing a lot of shit to do it your way, and that's the issue. Because you don't know what you're doing. When you don't know what you're doing and you want it your way, you're looking like an ass. So these are some of the challenges of everything going on in the zone today. Like, I'm working. But between China garnishing my bank illegally, India doing all kinds of fraud at the beginning, oh my God, all kinds of fraud. Between Iran, like secretly pushing India, between the Germans sending the screaming Bollywood into Canada, it has been very difficult on Hanna. Merged with the real fight between Satan and Prophet Hanna. So there's a fight between Hanna and Satan. And you have, not only are you fighting Satan, but you have all these people behind you, rah, 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 rah. That's okay. It's getting there. Today, all we're asking is, we need an assessment report of what you have done to the globe. And I need that from CIA. Because if I don't like it, I'm going to vacate the entire project. And then they can put the screaming people into Ottawa and pretend, it's First Nations. I have to or we were going to manipulate and try to help preserve what the noble did 600 years ago. Because what I was doing was complementing the noble. What these guys are doing is crushing everything. Because they have a militarized training being part of Illuminati's United States. They have a crushing mentality. You don't want to crush culture. But culture will come out on its own. But then it's the theory of we have a brown earth and a rose comes out. Rose comes out. Well, maybe I want black earth because I'm from the black community and I want a rose to come out, which is myself. That was made haggard. Or maybe I want white because that's my flavor of the night. White, glass white. And a black rose comes out of it, which is also me. Maybe I want yellow, like sunshine, our Chinese people, and then have a native come out of it, which is also me. You see the issue. So I don't know if it's ego, and they're telling me mine's is ego. Well, I have things to back it up to have ego. You're just like screaming, prancing like hyenas around the street. It's a problem, but it's not difficult to fix. So if you do see this by chance, for the broken neck and broken shoulders and skull that popped up, for the coming into my house and replicating stuff, for touching stuff, for embarrassing certain things that's private to me, like who I mate with is so sacred to me. We come from Islam. That went all over the place. Then there's the mental illness clips. Oh, that was really bad too. You're injecting someone to be mentally ill. And, they're injecting me, but my logic is so strong.